Atlanta rapper Rollo arrested after his home was raided, but now that the conspiracy charges have been dropped, why is he still locked up?
Greetings from the Claremont Lounge, Atlanta's oldest strip club, which has somehow managed to work its way into this year's race for governor.
A green light for liftoff. The sign Georgia could soon become the new spaceport of the South.
Live from Atlanta, 11Alive at 6 starts now. And new at 6, an Atlanta rapper accused tonight of leading a gang that was allegedly caught trying to move nearly $2 million worth of pot through Metro Atlanta.
11Alive's Naima Abdullahi has exclusive reaction now from Rollo's team tonight.
Rollo's team tells me he's being targeted and is sitting in jail wrongfully accused. But a federal criminal complaint lays out how investigators allegedly connected Rollo to the operation. Before we dig any deeper into this, let's tell you who 23-year-old Terrell Davis, aka Rollo, is, if you're not familiar with Atlanta's hip-hop scene. The artist has a huge social media presence and following, with more than 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and song collaborations with T.I., 2 Chainz, Future, Gucci Mane, and so many others. And now, criminal complaint alleges the rapper, who's called this apartment complex in Atlanta home, a complex just raided yesterday, is the leader of a gang referred to as Famerica, a name Rollo regularly uses to refer to his music team. But according to the complaint, the investigation dates back to December, when investigators stopped 3 vans leaving Fulton County Airport. Inside one, they allegedly found 520 pounds of marijuana worth about $1 million on the street. Rollo wasn't inside the van, but 3 people arrested were allegedly connected to him, according to investigators. And evidence investigators are now using: an old Instagram post from the next day that refers to $1 million lost. Fast forward to this past weekend, a complaint says a K-9 unit met Rollo's plane after it landed at PDK and found just under $1 million worth of marijuana. Rollo and 8 others were arrested. Tonight, his team still strongly believes he's being targeted because of his faith as a Muslim. They also discredited the Instagram post as evidence, calling it just entertainment. They also point out Rollo owns the complex that was raided and lets people stay rent-free as a way to give back to the community. Naima Abdullahi, 11Alive News.
A man has been convicted in Gwinnett County of murdering 2 of his father's friends. 25-year-old Davion Jones was first arrested in January of 2017. Police say that 2 of his father's friends came over to his home in Duluth to help fix his vehicle. They were all talking when police say that Jones took out a gun and then shot the victims. While there is no apparent motive, prosecutors said during the trial that Jones suffered from some behavioral issues. After 6 hours of deliberations, he was convicted, and now Jones is scheduled to be sentenced next Friday.
Thousands of you have followed the story of Lucky the dog in Cobb County and his long recovery. Now a dog sitter named Ashley Marie Davis has been arrested and charged with felony animal cruelty. In December of 2016, Lucky was found starving to death and abandoned. He was a foster dog in Davis's custody. Arrest warrants were issued for Davis last May. She was arrested yesterday and has now bonded out of jail on a $10,000 bond. A judge ordered her not to be around any animals as she awaits trial. Many of you have asked how Lucky's doing. Well, we met up with him today, and after 16 months, he has made a full recovery. Curious and happy, the rescue organization Mosley's Place tells us he's been adopted by a new family.
Basically, we focused on good nutrition, exercise, lots and lots of love and nurturing, and he snapped right back. He's just a big bundle of love.
If you'd like to learn more about Lucky's recovery, you can find a series of stories on 11alive.com.
Hundreds of DeKalb County school bus drivers called out sick today as part of a protest over working conditions, and we could see more of the same tomorrow with almost half of the drivers out today. The district scrambled. Still, they managed to pick up every single student. Organizers say that bus drivers are demanding 50 changes. At the top of the list, they want better pay and better retirement plans, along with new equipment and more bus monitors. Parents were warned to expect delays of up to 90 minutes as the strike continues through tomorrow, and it may go into Monday as well.
I can definitely understand a need or a grievance process with your employer. However, I think it was very strategic for them. I mean, it's a clear disruption during the milestone season for education.
The school superintendent has been meeting with the bus drivers since early March to try and figure out those concerns. But today, the superintendent issued a warning saying if those drivers don't come back to work, their jobs are going to be on the line.
Just 1 month after thousands of students walked out of class to pay tribute to 17 people killed in Florida in the school shooting in Parkland, another demonstration is planned for tomorrow. So how will this event be different than last month's walkout? Melissa Long is in the newsroom to explain.
Well, that's the question so many people are asking. Why is this happening again on Friday? Tomorrow, students will continue protesting against gun violence during this national walkout. Again, the date actually coincides with the 19th anniversary of the Columbine High School massacre in Colorado, where 13 people were killed in 1999. Some local schools are going beyond the walkout tomorrow and are actually using Friday to establish an open dialogue with the kids. At Lakeside High School in DeKalb County, the administration offered support to the students as they were planning. The students say they plan to have everyone out on the field with stations where they can then learn how to get involved and how to register to vote.
Well, it makes me proud. It makes me proud as a principal here at Lakeside High School to know that we have students who are very passionate about things that impact them. As a former teacher, I actually taught social studies, and I always encourage my students to really go out and vote, to really speak up for themselves.
In addition to the walkouts tomorrow, there's a rally scheduled for 10:30 in the morning. That's at Liberty Plaza. And at night, there's also an open town hall meeting, 7 o'clock. That's at the First Congregational Church in Atlanta.
Casey Cagle talks about his Georgia values, but he championed tax cuts for a strip club.
Well, here is what is going on now as politics begin to heat up in the race for the governor's office. One candidate has bought an ad depicting another candidate dancing at a strip club. The candidate who bought this is a political newbie, and the ad takes on the Republican frontrunner. Here's 11Alive's Doug Richards to give us a closer look.
As strip clubs go, the Claremont Lounge is a legend. Last year, the 53-year-old club reopened following a renovation. A government historic preservation tax break helped fund the renovation. And it inspired this ad.
Casey Cagle talks about his Georgia values, but he championed tax cuts for a strip club.
The ad does overlook a pertinent fact, which is that the Claremont Lounge sits in the basement of the Claremont Hotel, a building which has been mostly vacant for much of the last decade. And the renovation that benefited the strip club in the basement has also converted the once blighted hotel into a potential showcase. Political newcomer Clay Tippins created the ad.
But it's about more than the strip club. It's about that entire building.
Your tax dollars, my tax dollars, were used, in fact, for redeveloping a strip club.
So it's no wonder that this guy's in 5th place and hasn't cracked 5% in the polls.
Brian Robinson works for Cagle, the GOP's frontrunner.
He's being dishonest. It's not stretching, it's being dishonest.
Hunter Hill talks like he's Rambo, but he's really a Benedict Arnold.
The ad also attacks candidate Hunter Hill, a former Army Ranger who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. Tippins is a former Navy SEAL.
I think it brings great dishonor on his own service to suggest that my combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan link me with a traitor.
Are portrayals like this part of what sort of offend people about politics?
What offends me is if I end up with a leader that's a liar.
And early voting is just 11 days away. Doug Richards, 11Alive News.
A group of state representatives are coming together to voice their opposition to a neo-Nazi rally in Noonan this Saturday. Representative William Bodie of East Point, Representative Erica Thomas of Austell, and Representative Deborah Bazemore of Riverdale held a joint press conference at a state capitol office today. They're all condemning the rally. They're not disputing the group has a constitutional right to march, but they are worried the rally will escalate to violence as happened in Charlottesville, Virginia over the summer.
This organization, this neo-Nazi organization, may have a constitutional right to march, but they do not have a constitutional right to spread hatred, violence, and mayhem like they did in Charlottesville, Virginia.
We are for the First Amendment and your freedom of speech, but we are not for using that speech to hate on others.
The city has told us it will have 400 officers on hand to help keep the peace.
What happened to the 80s that we had yesterday? Yeah, it cooled down today, and you can see that cooler air sitting on top of us now, but we will see some gradually warmer air moving in the next few days, but also watching some rain and the impacts on the weekend. We'll have the updated timeline for you.